And so you mentioned what to do for engorgement. What are some other like tips you have for moms with engorgement? Because I've had some, that reach out that are kind of at that point where they think they're like overfeeding their baby because they already have like oversupply, they're uncomfortable.
When it comes to engorgement phase, I mean, it makes me so happy when moms pull me in. They're like, I'm engorged. I'm like, good, because you got milk, right? This is what we're looking for. But you're right, it can be super, super uncomfortable. So heat and massage. Right? A lot of times I will tell moms, like, if you're severely engorged, and they can be a time, especially, day 3 to day 5 when your milk comes in, and you can't even touch your breast because they hurt so much. Mm-hmm. So I will have you jump into the shower, make the water nice and warm, but turn your back to the shower so that the water just flows over your shoulders, and you don't have, because it'll literally feel like somebody is throwing beaties at your boobs, right? From the water from the shower, because that's how sensitive they are. Mm-hmm. And you just want to make sure using the palm of your hand, because a lot of times I see people digging in with their fingers when they're trying to massage. That's never comfortable, even when you're getting a massage, right? So you want to make sure that you're using a wide surface and just use nice rolling massage, right? And let's try and move that flow. Let's try and get that milk to start coming out. And with engorgement, a lot of times people are like, okay, I'm going to do it, and then it's gone, and then I'm good. I'm like, no, it's going to come right back. Right? Because your body's like, oh, yay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And if we're not careful, especially the moms who are like, but Ruth said I must pump. She talked about pumping. And then you start pumping, and then you end up with oversupply. And it's like, okay, well, I'm always engorged. I'm always leaking. My baby is choking. And I'm like, yeah, because they're drinking out of a fire hose. So how do we back that up some, right? And I think helping people understand, a lot of people will be like, yeah, breastfeeding. And I'm like, it actually is a science. So when you start understanding the science behind breastfeeding, demand equals supply. The more we ask your breast to make, the more milk they will make, as long as there's nothing else going on. So if you've got like insufficient glandular tissue, or you've got medical issues, diabetes, thyroid, some hormonal issues, or you lost a ton of blood, that is when it's going to be a little bit more challenging. The whole demand thing, we can ask, but we cannot ask off an empty vessel. So when your body is like super stressed out, or there's other underlying causes, we may not be able to get milk. But in general, for a healthy mom, if we ask your breast to make milk, they will make more milk. It's all about demand. The same thing applies if we leave milk in your breast. If we keep leaving milk in your breast will be like, hey, what gives? We're making all this milk, but this baby must not be that hungry, because they keep on leaving milk behind, right? So your body will actually start backing up. So part of getting rid of oversupply is dealing with the discomfort of having your breast just a little bit full for a few days, and then waiting for your milk supply to start tapering down. It's going to fulfill a feedback loop and tell your body to stop backing away from the milk production. But a lot of times, as soon as moms feel uncomfortable, they're like, I'm going to pump out. I'm like, great. And we just made it all worse again. So it's important for moms to then realize, if you've got oversupply, I don't want you pumping. Using a haka, using hand expression, and all you want to do is release enough milk for you to get comfortable, to where you can be like, okay, I can sleep. I'm good. I can go ahead and sleep. If you take any more than that, you're telling and encouraging your body to make more milk. Mm-hmm. So cabbage leaves, taking sage tea, that will also help with oversupply. But we need to be really careful, because we don't overshoot. And then the next thing we're doing is we're going back to pumping so we can bring your supply back up. And we're playing this back and forth game.
Right. So then if it is oversupply where, baby is choking or coughing while breastfeeding, would you recommend, using the haka before breastfeeding so you don't have like, too much coming out and the baby's choking, or holding the baby differently?
So if your baby is spluttering and choking, first things first, let baby come off. Because you don't want them to continue having this negative experience at the breast where they're like, this hurts so good. Right? You want to be able to pull baby off, let them catch their breath. A lot of times I'll actually have you hand express into your breast pad, so we can just get that letdown to go, get things to slow down. Moms with like really fast letdowns or really powerful letdowns and oversupply, I will have you haka for about 3 to 5 minutes before you even start breastfeeding baby. right? And this will let you take out about an ounce and a half, and it will slow the flow down. And it makes it a little bit easier for baby to breastfeed. Again, we want to try and balance taking off milk before and then how much baby's going to drink, so we don't keep on encouraging the body to keep on making more milk. So again, it is a delicate balance. A lot of these babies will also end up with like hind milk, full milk imbalance symptoms. So green frothy poop, really gassy. And I did a reel on doing oversupply and doing the milkshake, and really just shaking your boobs before you start breastfeeding so that we can mix up the milk. And when we say hind milk and full milk, a lot of people are like, you've got two different types of milk. I'm like, no, you have one type of milk. But especially if you're taking Mommy Knows Best cookies, right? We're gonna build up that fat content in that milk. And the one thing I know about fat is it loves to stick. So what ends up happening is that fatty layer in the milk sticks to the alveoli, which are the little collection and little sacs where the milk is actually created, right? So it sticks to the walls of the alveoli. And when you first start breastfeeding, just the watery stuff starts coming out. So if you take your boobs, literally massage them with some heat and warmth, and you just shake, you'll mix all that milk up and we'll start moving that fat into the milk so that when baby drinks, they have more balanced milk. So we're trying to go for that so we can make sure, especially if you've got oversupply, because you might have an abundant amount of full milk, and baby gets full on that. But after about an hour and a half, baby is starving again. And you're like, I know you just ate, right? But full milk is mostly sugar water. So they burn through it really quickly, and they turn super gassy.
Interesting. That's such a interesting technique. That's really cool.